Welcome back. That was the NSX application platform is really, really cool stuff. The challenging thing about application platform for us, though, is that it's really a difficult thing for us to implement in our lab environment, and because of that, and because we want you to see the deployment, uh, but you also need a reliable experience, we're going to go ahead and do this as a simulation instead of as a live exercise. So in your lab guide, if you come in here, we've got our link to the simulation itself, right? And so we'll go ahead and click on that link and open that up, and that will kick into the simulation itself. And what we're going to do here is walk through the deployment of NSX application platform, right? So you'll be able to see all of the things that we're going to do. And the first thing we're going to do is launch Chrome, right? Again, in the taskbar, remember, this is a simulation. This has very specific hotspots to it. So we want to click in the system tray or the taskbar for Google Chrome. And let's go ahead and click in the username and password text boxes and come over and look at system. Now, under System, we're going to do all of our application platform work here in the Application Platform menu, right, at NSX Application Platform. And it gives us a pretty simple screen that says, hey, you don't have this now. Would you like to deploy it? And so we're going to click the button to deploy. And we'll go ahead and leave these repository URLs where they belong. We're not going to change these. Now, in your environment, we saw in the lecture that we may use a private registry and a private Helm repository, but here we're going to use the public ones that VMware provides. And so we'll go ahead and save the URL here. Make sure we're looking at the right version, which we are, and we'll go ahead and hit next. And then we need to upload our Kubernetes config file. So we'll select the file we want to upload, and we simply called this config. Now, this may be called in your environment any number of things. You'll probably have saved it as something more descriptive than config, but we're just using config here. And so we want to go ahead and upload that to NSX Manager so that NSX Manager has the configuration, the Kubernetes configuration, to go ahead and communicate with and deploy services into the Kubernetes cluster. Now we're going to go ahead and leave the cluster type and the local path alone. We're going to go ahead and click here at interface service name. This is going to have to be in DNS for you already. You'll have to have created this DNS record as well as the messaging service name for that matter. But we'll click there to populate that, and we'll go ahead and click our scroll bar. We want to look at our form factors here. We're just going to use the evaluation form factor because we're doing this in a lab environment. This is going to be a non-production use case. So we'll check the box here that says, yes, we confirm, and we'll go ahead and select. From here, we'll hit next. And we can see all of the different pre-checks we're going to run, some version compatibility stuff and Kubernetes tools, and look at the namespaces and do some time synchronization checking and things like that, right? These are all things that are critical to function. So we'll go ahead and run these, and we see that they will run, in order. And we do have one warning on our time synchronization. That might be worth resolving, but it didn't. It's only a warning. It's not something that's going to prevent us from continuing. So we'll go ahead and click next. And here we just see kind of a review. We're going to use this repository for our charts, and this repository for our Docker images and platform and chart names and our Kubernetes configuration. We're going to use the Kubernetes form factor, and we'll go ahead and click the scroll bar and scroll down a little bit. And we see that everything looks okay. So we'll go ahead and deploy. And this has naturally been dramatically fast forwarded for us. And, at this point, we can see that we've deployed. There's our ingress URL and the messaging URL that we defined during our configuration. Our platform is stable. We have two nodes, right? Our control plane node and our worker node. We're on Kubernetes 1.20.15. NSX application platform is 4.0.1. We're at an evaluation form factor. Everything here looks good. Now let's come over and look at our core services just to see what's going on here. That kind of changes the view a little bit, right? So we can scroll down and we just click the scroll bar to do that. And we see analytics and configuration database and metrics and platform services. They all show us up. They're all good. That's exactly what we want to see. All right. This tells us that we have a good functional NSX application platform deployment. Now, let's go look at that from the Kubernetes side of things. We're going to go ahead and open up MT Putty. And here down in the K8S category, we've got SA K8S control -01. This is our control plane VM. So we'll go ahead and launch that. And here we want to press a key in the console so that we can see, we can populate the kube control get namespaces command, and we press enter to run it. And we see the three namespaces that we have deployed here, right? The cert manager, which manages certificates, Project Contour, which provides an ingress controller, and then NSXi platform, which is the namespace in which all of our stuff is going to work with. It's where it's all going to be deployed. And so we're going to go ahead and then run our get pods command, kube control get pods, against that NSXi namespace NSXi platform namespace, so that we can see all those pods. And you can see there's a pretty significant list of pods, right? So we're using Druid and Kafka, and there's all of our pods for our metrics, and we're using MinIO for some things, and Postgres, and all kinds of stuff. We can see all of these. Some of these are completed, right? And that's okay. Some of these need to just be in a completed state rather than a running state. Some of these, metrics, NSX config create Kafka topic. This is just a container that launches, does some configuration, and when it's done, it stops. So, some of these will show as completed, and that's okay. So that's how easy it is to deploy NSX application platform. There's not much to it once you have the initial Kubernetes cluster all set up and ready to go. So that's that. Come back. We'll see more stuff about application platform services, malware prevention, and network detection and response, and things like that, all coming up in future labs. So we'll see you there.